Hello, today we are going to start with nervous tissue, that is the new section in the topic structural organization in animals. And what do you mean by nervous tissue? The tissue which is or which makes the entire nervous system, that is brain, spinal cord, peripheral nerves, that is the nervous tissue what we call. Again I repeat, what is nervous tissue? Nervous tissue is the tissue which makes the nervous system, which makes the brain, which makes the spinal cord, which makes the peripheral nerves, the tissue that is known as nervous tissue. And when we talk about the nervous tissue, it is made up of two types of cells. Mainly it is made up of two types of cells. So if we talk about the nervous tissue here, it is made up of number one type of cell, that is what we call it as a neuron. This is a one type of cell, and another type of cell that is known as glial cell or glia. It is also known as glia. Nerve cell or neuron and glial cell or glia, these are the two types of the cell which makes the nervous tissue. What is neuron? Neuron, it is the structural and functional unit of nervous system. Structural and functional unit of nervous system. Glial cell. What is glial cell? It is a type of supporting cell in the nervous tissue. It supports the neuronal cell. Main cell, that is the structural and functional unit of nervous tissue, it is the neuron or nerve cell. Another type of cell, glial cell. What is the function of glial cell? It acts as a supporting cell. What is the difference between these neuron cell and the glial cell? Both makes the nervous tissue. Okay? So first important difference is that it is structural and functional unit, whereas glial cell, it is the supporting unit. Very important difference in between these two is that neuron, it does have one property known as excitability. It known as excitability, and another property known as conductivity. What is this excitability? Excitability, when a cell, it is given one stimulus, it can generate the impulse. It gets excited, it can generate the impulse which can be transmitted from one nerve to another nerves and can reach up to the brain. Okay? So what I am telling, excitability, what is excitability of a cell? A cell, when it is stimulated, it can generate the impulse. Action potential, it is developed, or the action potential across the membrane of the cell, it can get changed. That is what we call it as a excitation. So neuron cell or the nerve cell is having capability to generate that impulse, or it can get excited. One more thing, that is the conductivity. The impulse generated by the neuron can be conducted across the cell, can be passed on. The impulse generated can be passed on from one place to another place. That what we call it as a conductivity. So these are the two important properties of neuron cell or the nerve cell. Very important characteristic property. What is that? And that is the reason why it is known as functional unit of nervous tissue. What is that? Again I repeat, it does have the property of excitability and it does have the property of conductivity. These two parts, excitability and conductivity, development of the action potential, we are going to study in the subsequent lectures when we study the impulse generation and transmission of the nerve impulses. In detail we are going to study. So this is the one important property of neuron cell, whereas glial cell, they are not capable of the excitability, neither excitability nor conductivity. They cannot generate any impulse, neither they cannot conduct even any nerve impulse from one place to another. So this is the basic and very important difference between the neuron cell and the glial cell. Neuron cell, very important property that you should keep in mind, it never divides. It never divides. No division it is seen in case of neuron cell, whereas glial cells, it can divide. It is capable of cell division, whereas neuronal cell, it is not capable of cell division. Nerve cells, they do not divide. What is the reason? A very important reason is that neuron cell, it lacks centriole. Centriole, which is required for the initiation of the cell division, it is absent in neuron cell. That's why neuron cell, nerve cell never divides, whereas glial cell can divide, because in this glial cell you will find the presence of centriole, it is there. So these are some of the important differences between the neuron, that is a nerve cell, and the glial cells or the glia cell. These are the two types of cell which forms the nervous tissue. So this what we are discussing about the neuron cell, it never divides. It never divides, whereas the glial cells, they divide and they are capable of regeneration. They are capable of regenerations, whereas once the nerve cells are damaged, they did not get any kind of repair in that, you are getting, and neither they divide to form some new cells. This is the important property in case of the neuron and the difference between the glial cells. Glial cells, they are capable of regeneration and division because the centriole, it is present in the glial cells. Here we are going to discuss about the structure of neuron. If we just have a look towards the diagram drawn on the green board, we will just have a very important aspect that is present at this point. This is the total cell. This cell, it is known as cyton, and this is the nucleus at the center, and this is the cytoplasm, what we can say, cytoplasm. And the same cell, it extends, it processes on one side. This is what we call it as axon, and another processes. These are the structures, extension of the cytoplasm, and these are the another type of structures or processes known as dendrons. These are dendrons. This is the dendron, this is the dendron, and the fine structure of the dendrons, these are known as dendrites. These are the dendrites, what we can see, the fine structure. So when we talk about the neuronal cell or one neuron, this is the center place, what we call it as a cyton, and this is the cytoplasm, this is the nucleus, and the extension of the cyton, there are two extensions. One is this extension of the cyton, that is known as axon, and another extension in the form of dendrons. They are seen at this point, and the fine structures, ends of the dendrons, they are known as dendrites. So one side dendron, another side axon. These are the two processes of the neuronal cell. So here, if you just have a look, how many dendrons they are present? Many dendrons they are present, one dendron, two dendron, three dendron, four dendron, five, many dendrons they are present in this particular neuronal cell. There may be only one dendron present at that point, that we will discuss after the structure, But in this structure you will find this is the cyton, this is cytoplasm area, and extension in the form of axon and extension in the form of dendron you have seen. What is the function of this dendron? This dendron, these dendrites, what is the function of this dendron? They carry the impulses from different parts of the surrounding area, and they will carry the impulses towards cyton. These will carry the impulses towards cyton, impulses towards cyton, impulses towards cyton. This is the function of dendrite. What is the function of axon? It will carry the impulses from cyton towards the brain. This is cyton. From this part it will carry the impulses in this direction. Again here there may be the dendrites of some another neuron. It will attach to the dendrites of the another neuron and can pass the nerve impulses from this neuron to another neuron. This area where the axonal nerves they meet to the dendrites of the subsequent neuron, that is known as, this part is known as synapse. Synapse, that we will discuss in some other day. But what is the function of axon? Carrying the impulses from cyton towards the neuron, and from different parts of the surrounding area, the dendrites they bring the impulses to the cyton. So this is the main difference between the dendrites and axon. Both are the processes of neuron cell or the cyton. And when we talk about this particular axon part, this is very important. Before that we will finish the this particular aspect. In the cytoplasm you will find these are the granular structures that are present, and these granular structures they are known as Nissls granules. What are these Nissls granules made up of? In board book, HSC book, it is given Nissls granules they are made up of RNA, it's fine. In many video lectures it has been told Nissls granules are made up of so and so things, but just have a concentration on the point. Nissls granules they are made up of rosette of ribosomes. One is ribosomes. What is rosette? Bunch of roses, what we call rosette of ribosomes, bunch of ribosomes on a rough endoplasmic reticulum along with RNA that is present where the protein synthesis is taking place. So when you talk about the Nissls granules, it is made up of ribosomes, number 1, number 2, endoplasmic reticulum, rough endoplasmic reticulum, and number 3, RNA. These are the 3 things which makes the Nissls granules. Generally such type of questions they are asked in the examination. So this is a very important question what you can mark. Nissls granules are present in the cytoplasm of cyton. When we talk about the axon, so what are the things that are surrounding the axon? Axon, many times it will appear like this. This is the picture. It is surrounded by some myelin sheath made up of lipids. Myelin sheath made up of lipids. So what is this? That myelin sheath. And surrounding you will find a cell, it is attached here with one nucleus, and this is the Schwann cell. Schwann cell. Here you will find a nucleus surrounding this thing. This is a Schwann cell, a type of glial cell. Glial cell that we'll discuss afterwards. So Schwann cells they secrete they secrete the myelin sheath made up of lipids, Similarly, this is again one Schwann cell attached to the neuron, and it is secreting the myelin sheath. It is made up of lipids, and it is having a great importance in the conduction of the impulses from cyton to this end of the axon. So, if this structures myelin sheath it is present, the neuron it is known as myelinated nerve cell or neuron. If the myelin sheath is absent, no myelin sheath, it is known as non-myelinated structure, non-myelinated nerve. But here you will find myelin sheath is present. In all the nerve cells you may not find the myelin sheath. In some cells myelin sheath it is present, and those neurons in which myelin sheath is present, they appears to be white in color, because myelin it is made up of fat or lipid that is white in color. So in brain you will find two structures that we will discuss some other day. In brain you will find white matter and gray matter. What is white matter? In white matter the neurons all they are myelinated, that's why they appear to be white in color. And gray structure, in that the neurons they are unmyelinated, no myelin sheath is present on the surface of neurons in case of unmyelinated neuronal cells. So you got that point. So this is a myelin sheath secreted by the Schwann cell. The Schwann cell they remain attached to the particular myelin sheath. What is the importance of this myelin sheath? When impulses they are carried on in this direction from cyton in this direction, if myelin sheath is present, myelin sheath is nothing but like a insulation. आपण वायर बघतो, इलेक्ट्रिकची वायर, आतमध्ये कंडक्शनसाठी वायर असते आणि वरून एक प्लास्टिकचा थर असतो जेणेकरून त्याला आपण इन्सुलेशन म्हणतो. इन्सुलेशन, such type of insulation it is there. Myelin sheath it is an insulation. And if the impulse is carrying in this direction, and if myelin sheath it comes in between, the impulse cannot go straight. It has to jump from this point to this point. What is this point known as? Where there are gaps in between the myelin sheath. These particular junctions or points they are known as node of Ranvier. Node of Ranvier. These are the points where there is no myelin sheath it is present. So the impulse, if myelin sheath is present, it will jump directly from this point to node of Ranvier. Again from this point it will jump here. Again it will jump here, and the impulse can pass on very rapidly because it is go on jumping. उड्या मारत जर आपण गेलो तर आपण लवकर पोहोचू. Otherwise the rate of transmission of impulse, if myelin sheath is not present, it will go straight but it will go slowly. But if myelin sheath is present, the impulses can jump from one myelin sheath to node of Ranvier, again to node of Ranvier. By jumping, the speed is faster. What I am talking about, the speed of transmission of impulse is faster if myelin sheath is present. You can imagine one nerve cell, it is receiving from 10,000 different sources the impulses at a time. आपण दोन कानाने जास्तीत जास्त इकडचा आणि तिकडचा आवाज आपण ऐकू शकतो, कॉन्सन्ट्रेट करू शकतो. बट वन नर्व सेल कॅन रिसीव द inputs from 10,000 sources, such things, and the impulses they are constantly being transmitted towards our brain. How they are transmitted? There is a chain of neurons. One neuron is connected to another neuron at the by forming one synapse. Again it is connected to another neuron. Further it is connected to the spinal cord. It goes to the further it is. So these neurons are connected with each other to reach the brain. So this is a very important aspect that what we are discussing, myelin sheath. Presence of myelin sheath, the impulse transmission is very faster. So these are the structure. This is an axon, and at this end you will find these are axonal knobs. Axonal knobs which can interact with the subsequent neuron with the dendrites to form the synapse. This is one end through which again the impulse is going to be transmitted from this point. So these are the things what I would like to share regarding the structure of neuron. When we are talking about the structure of neuron, based on the presence of number of processes, the neuron is divided into three types. Number one, the very first picture. In this picture we will find what are the processes. One is axonal process, and these are the dendron or dendrites. And how many number of dendrites you are getting here? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. More than one dendrites that are present, they are carrying the impulses from different sources. This type of nerve cell, it is known as multipolar neuron. Multipolar neuron, because it is receiving the signals, stimulus from different sources. More than one processes they are present. A very important thing is that more than one processes they are present. This is one process, dendrite, axon. More than one processes they are present in multipolar type of neuron. If you take the another example, this is another type of neuronal cell. This is the cyton body, and this is the axon, one process, another process, that is dendrite or dendron at this end. So two processes they are present, 1 and 2. That's why this kind of neuronal cell, it is known as bipolar neuron. You are getting here more than 1, 2, 3, 4 processes, and this is one more process, axonal process, they are present with this attached to the cyton. I am talking about the cyton. When you are differentiating the different types of neuron, you have to see that how many processes they are attached to the cyton. Here cyton 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. These are the 6 processes attached to the cyton. It is multipolar neuron. In second type, this is the cyton. One side, this is the what you can say the axonal process, dendritic process. Two processes that are attached to the cyton. That's why it is a bipolar neuron. Third type, this is third type. This is the cyton, nucleus, cyton, and if you just have a look at this point, only one process it is there, and then it is merging into the axon, and at the end dendrites they are present. Only one process is at the base of the cell. That's why it is unipolar neuron. Okay, unipolar neuron. This is the processes. How many processes are coming out of this unipolar neuron? If you just check the cyton, from the cyton only one process it is coming out. From there it is extending to make axon and dendron. So based on the number of processes attached to the cyton, it can be divided, neuron cell, it can be divided into multipolar neuron, bipolar neuron, and third is the unipolar neuron. These are the different types of nerve cells or neurons. So here we are going to discuss about the types of neuron based on their functions. First we have seen the neuron, they are classified based on the number of processes attached to the cyton. That is, in that we have seen multipolar neuron, we have seen the bipolar neuron, and third we have seen the unipolar neuron. But here these are the two types of neuron. It is based on the function of neuron. One is known as afferent neuron, another is known as efferent neuron. What is afferent neuron? The impulses in such type of neuron, the impulses generated, they are conducted from different parts of the body and they are conducted towards brain. It means impulses from sensory organs, they are passed on to the central nervous system or brain. Such neurons, they are known as afferent neuron. There is another type, that is efferent neuron. The impulses, they are carried from CNS to different parts of the body. From CNS to different parts of the body, that is known as efferent neuron. When we talk about the afferent neuron, these are of sensory type, sensory neuron what we call. What is that? They are collecting the impulses from different sense organs, different parts of the body, and they are passing on to the central nervous system. Whereas efferent neurons, they carry the impulses from brain to the different parts of the body. So the impulses which are moving from brain to different parts of body, those are known as motor impulses. Whereas the impulses which are running from different parts of the body, they are reaching towards the brain, they are known as sensory type of impulses. That will go in much detail when we talk about the coordination. There is one topic in NCERT, coordination. In that we will discuss in detail about the fine details of the working of the different types of neurons, as well as fine working of the nerve cell, how the impulses they are generated, what is action potential, and how they are conducted. That we will discuss in that particular topic. I hope that you might understand this topic. Thank you.